Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.
So, for me, photography means, taking a memory of something. So, it's just kind of a way to store your memories into sort of like an input. So, if I take a picture of, say, there's a tree outside and I take a picture of it, that means that in the future me will remember that tree when she sees it.
She?
I see it. When I see it, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Cadence, thank you. This is the second, you're the only one who's been on the podcast twice.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have only been on the podcast twice.
Okay, so you've been on the podcast twice. This is your second time. The first time was more than a year ago. This was
2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
I was 8.
Now
I'm 10.
So you've had 2 birthdays since.
Yeah.
So looking back on that time, in the time since then, are you a different person now than you were back then?
I mean, kind of. There have been some changes.
Ooh, what changes? What kind of changes?
Just favorite color and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, so gossipy.
Are you blushing?
Yes.
Luckily, it's audio. Nobody will ever see.
Put some more blush on.
I know. Okay, so welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
I think this will be episode 81 or 80 or something. So well done. Yes. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. I love having you on. It's awesome. Unlike last time, we only had 1 photo.
Yeah. Now I have 4 photos.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to dive in?
Sure.
Okay, da.
Okay, let's go.
You have to create the boom sound. The first photograph you selected.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe it? You describe it.
Okay.
What do people see?
It's like a nature scene. It's kind of like a landscape. It's a panorama. So there's a really beautiful blue color at the top, which is the sky. Because actually at this moment, we had just climbed up Lantau Peak in Lantau in Hong Kong.
So which guy?
What?
Which guy?
Lantau Peak.
No, you said this guy. Which guy?
The sky.
Oh, the sky. Sorry. Right, the sky.
So we had just climbed up Lantau Peak, and actually, if you see it, in one corner there's me and my mom, and I'm the one with the little pink shirt, sitting on a cliff eating lunch. Actually, that's what we were doing. And at that time, you were a few meters behind us and took this photo.
Uh-huh.
And I really, really like this photo because the sky is just so beautiful. It looks like the perfect landscape. Because it's a panorama.
The guy, your father?
The sky.
Ah, sorry.
You can see from all views.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of luscious green on the mountain. Because it was hot. It was winter, but
It's a dry season.
Yeah, it was a dry season. It's mostly just dried plants and rocks, but it's just still so beautiful. And in the distance, you can see other mountains that are really, really green.
Uh-huh. And islands. Okay, so as you described, it's a panorama. Basically, it goes from left to right. Half of the picture is just blue sky, and this is beautiful blue.
Yeah, it's a best blue. It's
and then the bottom is just the rocks of Lantau Peak, and you're sitting far off in the distance. You're, small in the distance, sitting on a rock, eating.
Tiny.
For sure. Okay, so how does this photo sit in your head as significant or important or why when I say to you pick 4 photos did you choose this one?
I think it's just I was feeling such peace in that moment. I remember it to this day, and it was 2 years ago or a year. And it was my second time going up Lantau Peak, and the time before I'd been so tired. I'd been miserable.
Yeah.
And there's a video of me going, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But this time, I was eager, and I just went into full hiking mode.
Yeah.
So when I got to the top, it was a really big victory, and it was so perfect in my mind. It's so peaceful. There were other people, but they weren't bothering us, and nothing was really bothering us. And I felt so happy in that moment.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a beautiful day. And for people who've never been to Hong Kong who are listening to this, I mean, if they kind of know my photographs or our lives, they know that there's a lot of amazing hiking. But this photo is really bonkers because
it's like the second highest mountain in Hong Kong.
Yeah, for the peak. Yeah, do you know how tall that is? How many meters?
No idea.
2,865 miles.
Nice.
Is that true or false?
I'm betting it's false.
That's right.
I was like, nice.
So you're patronizing me. You're patronizing
yeah,
me.
I'm patronizing.
Oh, you've learned that word. Great. No, it's 850 meters.
Okay.
Which is how many feet?
No idea.
So it's about 3 feet to 1 meter. So what's 850 times 3?
800. Stop quizzing me. This isn't a math quiz.
Welcome to Shooting It Raw, where I put you on the spot. Don't leave.
Walks away.
Yeah, so great. So, okay, but technically, you did not make this photo. And yet, in terms of the importance of photography, does it matter whether you're the photographer or not?
Well, I say there's a certain type of ownership that you get when you actually take the photo. But in this case, actually, for most of these photos, it's you taking the picture. But that's okay, because I connect to them and not... I take horrible photos. So...
No, you don't. I mean, this is just a process, but yeah.
So, I don't really care if it's my photo or not. I just need to have a connection to it.
Okay.
And that's what makes a photo, to me, really special.
Okay. Do you want to keep talking about this photo, or do you want to move on to the next one?
Let's move on.
Okay, now in this photograph...
It's me!
Do you want to describe what we're looking at?
Okay, so it's me on Halloween around a year or two ago.
A year ago.
A year ago. No. Yeah, a year ago. And we had bought this spray paint hair dye stuff that's not permanent, but... And it's... The only colors I got were blue and pink. And honestly... It's the morning and I was about to go to school. So my hair was a mess, but we still just did it like that and just sprayed it on and went to school. And I'm looking pretty happy in this photo. I have like a pink sweater with like stars on it and a little towel on so it doesn't get on my clothes. And I look pretty happy. And this is in our house. So
yes.
Yeah. And if you look outside, it's like... either really, really sunny or really, really foggy or really, really rainy. You can't really tell.
Yeah, I can't really tell. It's kind of foggy out the window. You can tell that it's bright, I guess. Yeah, no, it's in our living room / dining room.
Yeah.
You're looking at I don't know if it was me or if it was your mummy who was making the photograph.
Mother.
It was your mum? Oh, okay. And yeah, like sprayed, the top of your head is this
blue.
Funny blue color, and the bottom of your head is this
pink color.
Pink or fuchsia?
More like pink.
Okay.
But actually, to this photo, it's just another photo of me. But to me, like a year ago, there were a lot of influences I had in my brain. Like, literally, I didn't really like blue and pink that much. Right. I just thought that would make me cool. And I was kind of stuck in that thing, and that didn't make me very happy. So I kind of got out of it, and now I'm who I want to be, and I don't just pretend to be.
At the moment?
Yeah.
But that may change next week.
Yeah, I'll pretend to be a different person.
Of course. This was before Halloween. You're looking at the camera.
Halloween.
Okay. This was during the pandemic, so were you going to school?
Yeah, I was going to school, but everyone had masks on. And there was actually this really fun Halloween competition, and my friend won. She was a minion. And there were like houses at my old school, because this is my school now. So actually, the last time that we talked on here, I was at a different school, so that changed. And I have new friends and stuff, so...
You have friends? Over my dead body!
Yeah, so this photo is just kind of a reflection of me in the past and kind of, like, think about how I've changed.
So how is that, in terms of the time between now and back then? You know, like, how do you... Can you talk about how you've changed in a way that, like, you know, like the difference between, for example, a 6-year-old you and a 10-year-old you is pretty big, whereas the difference between a 45-year-old me and a 61-year-old me is very small. I'm 61, yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so can you intelligently talk about how much you've changed, or is it more like, who cares?
I think that, so at around this age, I read Harry Potter when I was 6, and I watched the movie, and I wasn't scared at all. This is just an example. And now I watch the movie, and I'm like, I didn't find this creepy when I was 6. Wow. So it's not as big as a difference because that was like a year ago, but I still feel like it's about to be Halloween really soon,
right?
And I didn't really. I think I sort of embraced myself in the last year.
And whereas before you rejected yourself.
Not. Oh God, I got a big cut. I was just like.
Are you bleeding?
Yes.
You are? Congratulations.
Yeah. So I think that I was kind of at that point, it was cool to have YouTube, and I was watching YouTube, and that actually made me feel really awful, but I kind of rejected that.
Okay.
I was so affected. Like, my favorite color changed because of what people thought.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really happy, but I just rejected all those feelings, kind of just went along with the flow. And at around, actually 2 months after this photo was taken, I ditched YouTube. I ditched all that caring about what other people thought.
Yeah.
I was just so I feel like in that process between then and now, I really kind of opened up to what I actually like.
Okay.
Not what other people think I like. What I care about other people think.
So how do we are you bleeding badly? What's going on?
I'm fine.
You sure? Oh, wait a second. Where'd that come from? Okay, I'll hit pause. Hold on. Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
After that little flesh wound, it was but a flesh wound. Okay, so we're talking about...
It is but a flesh wound.
Yes, it is. Yes, you're right. Already you're noticing something that, you've changed in a sense, right? And that you're aware of, from one time to the next, your personality is changing and you're sort of ditching some things, keeping other ones. But what if that is something that happens all the time throughout your life and is a normal thing that happens to everybody all the time anyways? Even to your parents, even to your teachers, everyone. I'm
just saying it was just it was a bit of a... I was just trapped in a cycle, and I got out of the cycle.
The cycle being YouTube.
The cycle being caring about what others thought of me. Changing myself for others. And I wasn't really... Every night I came back, and I was just even now, I come back from school, and I'm like, what have I become? Where's my old self?
Yeah, I have to... Yeah. But kill those people.
Yeah, but that...
What? You're going to kill some people?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
What are you doing?
My friend Esme wants to be a murderer.
Well, that's crazy.
Just kidding.
Listen, you can't out her in the podcast. Everybody will know that she wants to go into murder.
Murder. Or was it murder? Okay, I think we can move on to the next one.
Okay. Aha! So, in this photograph,
this is the day after the last photo.
Oh, it is. So this is the day after. So this is
actual Halloween.
Nice.
And this is a year ago, and I was a black cat. I wanted to be the character cat from the show Salmon Cat, but my red wig looked frizzy, and nothing worked. So I just dressed up as a cat, and all my friends dressed up as cats, and it was basically just a bunch of cats.
Yeah. So you're all dressed up as cats, and in this photograph, so it's in Saikong, and the three of you are walking away from...
Three of you meaning...
Your friends, you?
Yeah, my friend Isla.
Yeah. Is in the back.
In the back.
With the blonde hair.
With the blonde hair and the little cat ears. I borrowed some of her cat ears and painted my nails black with her.
And you're in the middle? Mm-hmm. And then in front of you is...
My friend Luli. She dressed up as kind of like Grim Reaper or something.
Right.
And this is us kind of walking away from Isla's house.
Yeah. You're walking on a base, like a barrier.
Yeah.
And over it is, like, past the barrier is boats.
A lot of boats.
Yeah, it's like a sort of a harbor where a lot of boats are sort of parked, small boats. And this is in Saikong, so you're walking across, going out trick-or-treating.
Yeah,
so you have your trick-or-treating
let me give you
bags.
a background.
Yes.
So this is Halloween, and basically I went to Isla's house, and my friend Lily arrived like 15 minutes after I got there. We ate pizza, then went, and we were just so excited to go trick-or-treating. All of us painted our nails black last minute, and we're just like...
We're going crazy!
And actually before this we went trick-or-treating in our complex, so we were already jacked up on candy. We just wanted more.
Yes, of course.
So it's kind of just a mid shot of us, so you can see the landscape, but at the same time you can actually like see. It's not like we're just tiny dots.
So yeah, you're not super far away. Again, no clouds in the sky, really.
Yeah, why is Hong Kong so beautiful?
I don't know. We'll destroy it.
Weird.
But the nice thing is, it wasn't the same kind of blue like on Lantau. This is a bit more haze, so it's more on the sort of the cyan/white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Halloween is something that sticks in your head, I guess most kids, because you go around and for some strange reason, people give you candy.
Yeah. This is Halloween of being Medusa. So, cat. Before that, I was a dog, I think, and then a cat. And now Medusa. So yeah, I like animals and snakes and stuff.
Yeah.
This was a time where I had just moved from Leisuam to Delia School. And me and Isla's friend had moved like a year before. And we just started to be really, really good friends. And then I moved.
Right.
And me and Isla are still really good friends. Mm-hmm. But it was hard because we were kind of adjusting to not being able to see each other every day. It was kind of... I don't know, difficult for some reason.
Yeah. Okay, you're friends, yeah. You don't see each other as much.
Yeah.
And then you decide to get together for trick-or-treating.
This is a tradition. So after we went trick-or-treating, we went back to Isla's house, and we had a sleepover. And me and Luli did not sleep at all.
Right,
do you know what Isla did?
Yeah.
She went to her room and slept.
Yeah, I know.
Me and Luli played Sims for all night, okay?
All night. We picked you up and you were a...
mess.
Basket case.
Yes.
That's right.
I was just like,
Okay.
So it was really a big thing. For me, it really sticks in my memory.
Yeah.
Because of all those...
Was that the first real sort of sleepover you've had?
Probably my second real sleepover.
Because
I had my sleepover.
Yeah.
And that was a big sleepover. Like, I had 6 friends over. This year we went to Ocean Park and then had a sleepover, and a lot of kids puked.
Yeah, that's always fun.
But last year we went to...
No puking last year.
It was my first big sleepover, and this was probably my second biggest sleepover.
Got it.
We didn't sleep at all, and our friends slept.
Right.
And we were me and Lily slept in the daytime. Me and Isla were playing Rayman Legends at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is a video game. Right. And Lily was asleep.
How dare she? What kind of kid is she anyways?
I know, right?
She's demoted.
And yeah, this is basically... I had a lot of memories from this day and that night. So this just really sticks in my brain. It's
for sure.
Kind of important memory to me. And I remember walking on that. We walked on that so many times.
Sure.
And since Isla's moved, I miss walking on that thing.
Right. Well, on that being the
barrier.
The barrier, or it's essentially to stop people from falling down the rocks into the water. Yeah, so you're kind of walking across like 3 musketeers. Get it? But they weren't really mice. But anyway, so you're walking across just before. I mean, it's afternoon, not quite late evening.
Like
5 o'clock. Okay, yeah, about to go trick or treating. You want to move on, or is this good?
We'll move on.
Okay la.
Okay, this is my most recent picture.
Wait, go ahead.
Go ahead. So, what you see is my mother, who is the closest figure. That means she's right there, and then there's me right next to her, and you see like a metal kind of barrier, but it's not a barrier. It's like metal doors that you find in like theme parks, because we are at that theme park.
Yeah.
So this is us in Ocean Park, which is pretty big theme park in Hong Kong. And this was like a few months ago. Like, I still have that t-shirt. I wear it a lot.
Yeah. So you're both wearing masks.
Yeah.
We're basically standing outside of one of the Ocean Park's biggest
roller coaster.
It
was my first big roller coaster, so it's a big moment.
It's a big deal.
I was so terrified.
Yes. Shaking in your boots.
I was like, and then when I got on, I closed my eyes for the first half, and then I opened my eyes, and when I opened my eyes, we're in the middle of a loop-de-loop, and I was like, ah!
Yeah, exactly. So this is essentially it's a roller coaster where you're seated upright. You've got the sort of the barrier or whatever that holds you down at the shoulders very snugly. Your feet dangle off the chair, and essentially it's like the roller coaster ride is like you seated in a chair that goes and does these loop-de-loops that are full on, right? That was your first full on.
Yeah, I remember having that moment where I wasn't on my seat.
Right.
And that is the most terrifying moment.
And did you vomit then?
No, I've never vomited on a roller coaster.
Right, but did you vomit on that time at Ocean Park?
No.
No, we vomited more. How many people vomited at your birthday?
Let's see one.
In percentage.
Okay, like 70%.
70% of the people who came to your party vomited? Okay. What is 70%?
So, it's like a bit more than half.
A bit more than half, that's right.
So, my friend Lily vomited. We talked about her in the last picture. She vomited right after me and my mom were doing this roller coaster again.
Yeah, that's true.
And we got off, and she vomited. And my friends were yelling, and we're like, Lily vomited!
But Lily hadn't got on the roller coaster. She was just feeling sick from a previous thing.
Yeah, and Lily was feeling really down. So we gave her half a lollipop. I had a lollipop.
Yeah, I know.
It was good. And then when we got home, we drank some lemonade, and I think because of the lemonade, Bartlett vomited.
Yeah.
That's just another one of my friends. And Bartlett is the bravest girl like I've ever met.
Yeah.
She puked, and then she looked really sick, and then she was like, I'm fine.
She's just fine. She
wiped it off, and then we did a dance competition, and she participated.
Yeah, I know. Bartlett's, full on.
Yeah. And then my other friend Siki vomited at like 9.
Yeah.
And it was right after she had lemonade, and she was like, this lemonade's really good.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh, she left later that night because she felt like she had a cold and also the vomiting thing. But Bartlett fell asleep at like 10, which is really early.
So let's go back to this photo.
Yeah.
It's, okay, so the top, okay, so basically the foreground is Delian, your mummy, looking at me as I'm making the photo.
It's like...
You are looking up to the sky,
like
kind of
terrified,
going like, ah! You're holding yourself. You're holding you're kind of hugging yourself in fear behind.
I have my Fitbit.
Oh right. You've got your little Fitbit thing.
Oh wait, she is a Fitbit. I have a scrunchie.
Ah, scrunchie, yes. And then behind you is the actual roller coaster, sort of the seat, the proper things that you sit in.
The things that go over you are yellow, and the seats are red.
Bright red, and so it's very dramatic. And then the walls all around are really bright yellow. With this also the teal. We say blue or teal? Teal, blue, yeah. And it's a great ride. It goes.
Scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
After doing it, I wanted to do it again.
Yeah.
But I tell you, when I was doing that, your ribs and mother's ribs were crushing my ribs.
Oh, really? How are we? What do you mean?
I know, not your ribs, your elbows. You were like,
in the car.
Trying to keep me secured, and I was like,
I was putting my elbow in your right. Yeah, just holding you down. Okay. So if you're a young punk like you listening to this, what kind of advice would you give them for facing your fears about a roller coaster that looks so scary?
Okay, so you may think it's scary, but let me tell you, you want to go on it. Yeah. You do.
Yeah.
Make sure you didn't eat anything first. Tips, and when you go on, picture a nice scene, and then open your eyes and tell you everything's fine. You may think that it's scary. It is. So
you're actively suggesting that somebody who gets on a roller coaster, as it starts moving, that you close your eyes?
And then very briefly, Before.
When you say before, briefly, like blinking or actually closing your eyes?
Before you get on the ride, when you're waiting,
Okay.
close your eyes and picture a nice scene. Take some deep breaths.
Okay.
And when you get on, tell yourself it's all right. And you know it's scary. Yeah, there's no.
Do you remember what
that
words
isn't
you were
scary.
yelling before as the ride?
Mommy, help me!
I think you remember. I remember you saying, "I'm gonna die." Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
tell
shaking
yourself.
your head.
Also, tell yourself you're not going to die.
Yeah, just tell yourself you're not going to die. That's part of the fun.
There's so many people that have went on this picture. There's so many people that went on the ride.
Yeah, and only about 5,000 died, really.
I bet none died.
I'll bet you might be right. You're probably right. None
So
died.
just chill out about the whole dying.
Yeah.
That's literally 1 in 1,000 choices.
Okay,
Like,
easy.
It's like winning a lottery.
Sure.
Except the lottery is death.
It's death. Do you mean murder?
Yes. Murder.
Okay. When we recorded the first episode with you, that was in this other world, this other time, and now we're like a year and a half later.
A year and 3/4.
Sure.
Excuse me.
And so how have you changed? Have you changed? Are you the same punk as before? What is it?
I mean, it's half and half. Like, I've changed a bunch, but I'm still the same me in the core.
Right.
And, I have more protective thinking about that because of school.
Yeah.
And,
Okay, well, Cadence, look, thank you very much. Episode 80. This is awesome. This is great. It's really real treat to have you walk us through your photographs. Thank you. Thanks, Cadence.
okay, bye. Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.